Episode 591. Lord Grimm himself was gone, but his record-breaking spirit lived on. Could it be that all the way to level 70, none of the club guilds will be able to secure a single record on the 10th server? Then what's the difference between them and any ordinary player guild? Who among the players on the 10th server would consider them uniquely powerful? Honestly, that seems to be the case already. Compared to the Heavenly Domain, or any of the ordinary servers from 1 to 9, the status of the major club guilds in the 10th server is undoubtedly the lowest. So, where exactly did their popularity in the 10th server come from? The first is players directly from their own guild. The second is veterans who've come to the 10th server for a fresh start, drawn in by the reputation of the club guilds. While newbies made up the vast majority of the new server, there were also veteran players like Tian Qi and Yue Zhongmin who'd come to start fresh. Of course they knew the reputation of the club guilds. The name alone was a powerful draw. Then, they could shine by snagging the first clear on dungeons. Their guild players were always a fixture at the top of the level rankings. And then, well, there was no then after that. The most prestigious arena, the ultimate showcase of a guild's strength, the dungeon records, were universally acknowledged to be Lord Grimm's domain on the 10th server. Even the club-backed branches had quietly accepted this fact. Why else would no one dare to compete with Lord Grimm's team on a level playing field? They're always resorting to obstruction and restriction. Without dungeon records, a guild finds it nearly impossible to plant its powerful influence in the hearts of players. In the 10th server, new players only knew the individual, not the guild. Even though the Happy Guild had secured several dungeon records in a row, in the players' minds, it was all because Lord Grimm was there. The guild itself didn't necessarily seem all that strong. On the 10th server, players had already come to a single conclusion. Wherever Lord Grimm went, the dungeon records would follow. This completely warps the very concept of a dungeon record. This thing, which required a team to create, had become a stage for personal heroism in the eyes of the 10th server's new players. The record didn't belong to a team. It belonged to Lord Grimm alone. Even when Lord Grimm reached level 50 and left for the Heavenly Domain, the mood among the various club branches didn't exactly improve. Because the mindset in the 10th server had been completely turned around by Lord Grimm's presence. Lord Grimm's mythical image was now firmly etched in everyone's minds. In the days to come, even if the major guilds managed to secure dungeon records, a single thought would linger in the minds of the 10th server's players. You only got it because Lord Grimm wasn't there. Lord Grimm is a mountain peak. You can go around it, you can climb over it, but it's no use. The peak is still there, forever to be looked up to. To replace it, you must either level that peak or build a higher one. A higher peak, you say? No guild leader would ever entertain such a thought. That was Yi Chu, a peak in the professional scene that no one had ever surpassed. In the online game, they're just a bunch of small fry. Dare to surpass Yi Chu? What for? Telling a bad joke? Flatten him? Just hearing that phrase brings tears to my eyes. Those who tried to flatten Yi Chu are now piled up at the mountain's base, a heap of bones that only makes the peak look more terrifying. The poor guilds understood this all too well, yet they were powerless. They could only silently detour and continue their march. They wanted to get far away, to go so far that they couldn't see this towering peak anymore. But a place like that, it's bound to be forgotten. And just like that, Lord Grimm zipped right back from the Heavenly Domain. Zip, zip, zip. 4 more records. The peak was right back in front of them, and it looked like he'd be popping up like this from now on. The guilds finally realized this wasn't a single peak. It was a mountain range, stretching on and on, all the way to the horizon. The branch guilds were practically weeping. They desperately wished the Heavenly Domain would step up its game and crush this guy for good, ensuring he'd never, ever rise again. But did the main guilds of the Heavenly Domain have the time or inclination to understand the feelings of their 10th server branch? No, they clearly didn't. They were playing a game where the one who didn't act would lose, but the one who acted first would also lose. Yiqiu was leveling again, with Chen Guo keeping him company in her chasing haze. Lin Shanshui was there, along with the 4 players pretending to be experts. Chen Guo had already received 4 suitable accounts and handed them over. The 4 players, now equipped with their new characters, began transferring their old friend lists while simultaneously chasing after the great god's footsteps. Once they learned the great god would surely form a guild of his own, the 4 of them immediately and decisively stopped transferring their old guild ties. They'd just wait and join his guild directly when it was established. Over the next few days, the 24 account cards that Ma Chenyi from the Red Tie Internet Cafe had lost were also delivered, each one a character from the heavenly domain. Ma Chenyi wasn't petty about it. He handed over the accounts exactly as he'd received them, without stripping out any of the equipment or in-game currency. Out of the 24 accounts, 7 were completely empty. The rest all had some equipment on them. Chen Guo looked them over one by one. They were all pretty basic gear, nothing special. Of course, Ma Chenyi wasn't going to send over a decked-out account. They hadn't exactly set the bar high for this little prize in the first place.
We can form the guild right now, no problem.
Chen Guo did the math. 24 account cards meant 24 characters. Add in the 4 guys, plus Lin Shanshui, Lord Grimm, and himself, that still left 1 slot to spare.
No rush. We could have set it up long ago if we wanted to.
I know, I was just saying. Are you using these accounts right now?
Chen Guo looked over each one, then began neatly stacking the 24 account cards.
We don't need them now, but we will someday.
Just give the Battle Mage card to Little Tang.
Chen Guo pulled out the Battle Mage's account card.
No need. It's better for her to feel her way up step by step. Getting familiar with new skills one at a time is much more beginner-friendly. If you try to master everything at once, you'll just end up with a pile of skills you don't really understand.
What about Mumu?
Chen Guo pulled out the launcher's account card.
Her? She's very particular about names. I'm afraid she wouldn't like this launcher's name.
And it's a male character too.
Chen Guo had taken a closer look at this launcher. The character was a burly man with a full, thick beard. She absolutely could not stand the idea of Su Mu Cheng using an account like that.
Has that kid Zan Lu Lan sent any word yet?
After putting away the account cards, Chen Guo came over and asked.
Not yet.
But we agreed on today, didn't we?
The day's still young.
Yi Shu remained utterly unruffled.
What's your backup plan if he doesn't agree?
Chen Guo asked. In Ye Shu's plan, allying with slaying Building Blue was a crucial piece. Those earlier feints and diversions couldn't last forever. Sooner or later, the major guilds would lose patience and make their move. Take Lu Hao's group, for instance. They could always just grit their teeth, charge over, and take the death. They could finally get a direct measure of just how many allies Ye Shu had around him, and how terrifying that force truly was. And this was the last thing Yi Shu and his crew wanted to see, because he didn't have a single helper with him at all. From start to finish, it was just Yi Shu alone, playing a game of clones.